Alright. Welcome back. We are back to the podcast again here at Tomboy Official. So, dang, I had a topic and I just am blanking. So it's maybe a topic I've spoken on before. But kind of like maybe social rules around, I don't want to say poly relationships, but, maybe like the flexibility in relationships with, I don't know. Okay. So there was this conversation that Ashley Gavin had with, Angel, and it was on the We're Having Gay Sex podcast. She was talking about, they were talking about, relationships, poly relationships, and, just kind of the, flexibility that kind of happens in more like queer style relationships. Like, now I don't really know if it's like more so let me see the name. Let me get the name right. Angel Flores, a trans female athlete. I think she's a bodybuilder. She lifts. And Ashley Gavin, she has the podcast We're Having Gay Sex. She also has Chosen Family podcast with Elena Joy and Mac Injemy. But basically, the We're Having Gay Sex podcast, they do have often conversations about like sexual topics or whatever, something that's on their mind for the week, or maybe something recent that happened or something from older times. And Angel Flores started talking about how she kind of likes flirting with friends and maybe even like hooking up with people, and has had some experiences in like poly dating. And Ashley Gavin didn't really talk too much about the details about poly dating from her experiences, but she did mention that she does do poly dating, but just kind of how her experience with it is, revealing a lot of like diversity. And the person who was the co-host on that episode was basically talking about how with the straight population of people, maybe there's like more expectations for certain stuff. Now I didn't really catch the part where the co-host was talking about her, like she's a cis straight woman and was talking about her relationship with a male. I don't know if they're married or dating or engaged or what, but they live in separate houses, and I guess they're gonna stay living in separate houses. And I think from the way I understood it, it sounded like they were married, but don't hold me to that. I could be totally wrong. But yeah, they kind of have a lot of like things to say that are very interesting. And yeah, like she was kind of talking to the experiences of the roles, like the roles and expectations within those roles as a cis straight female dating cis straight males. And when you think of it, queer people don't necessarily have the same rules. Like, first of all, the gender roles, the roles are already, it just kind of depends, like I can date, for example, as a cis, non-hetero female with a lot of androgynous tendencies. I can date a I can date a a trans male, for example, that might have a lot of stereotypical gender roles to maybe like a cis male, or expectations in the relationship of those types of gender roles and things. Or if I were dating like a cis female that's like queer to some extent, she might have the same gender roles as a cis or trans male. It's hard to really tell. Like, there's just so many little moving parts. Like, I feel like in the cis straight world, people kind of grow up with a narrative of like, okay, a little girl plays with dolls and always hopes about this wedding, and then there's going to be some man that comes to ask her out, and they start dating, and then they eventually like each other that enough that they get married and move in together and start having kids and a family and stuff, and then repeat that cycle. Versus with the non-straight crowd, like, a lot of places you can't even get married. A lot of places the dating doesn't look the same. In the area where I live, because of the expense, it's really kind of like, people have to have there's a difference with the job security and people needing to be able to really like maintain like solid employment and things like that. I just think that's kind of more kind of what is seen. I kind of don't I try not to think too negatively about like gender roles and sexual roles and those types of things. Like, I know to some extent I think it does create like an ease, like there's not a whole lot of guessing. It's probably something I don't talk to a lot about with my hetero cis female friends. I don't really get too much involved in their relationship lives, but I can definitely tell that they kind of get a little curious about like, oh, are you dating, or like, what are you doing, kind of thing. And their idea of like me being in a relationship needs to be like a solid, like, oh, you need a girlfriend or you need a boyfriend, and you need to be looking towards like being in a long-term relationship and being married and that kind of thing, and settling down in a house together. And while that's all good for people who want to do that, I don't really feel like it's something that I have to have. Like, I don't really feel like it's a necessity for me to really need to do that. So I mean, I do understand that 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 how can I say this? Like, yeah, I understand that, you know, people are gonna do what they're gonna do, like, but you know, like, I'm not too sure if there's, you know, a path that I feel like too much of a desire to take, like, to be just like directly like doing, I don't know, I'm like stuttering around, I don't know what I'm saying, but to be so like directly involved, I don't feel like I need to be too like like I don't know. Okay, I guess the best way I can put it is that, like, I kind of understand my own nature with a lot of things. Like, it's definitely come to me over multiple years. It's not like I just woke up one day and I was like, I understand everything. But the more I kind of just like focus more on like naturally what I want, naturally what I desire, naturally what I prefer, and just focusing more on just that versus like what I was taught to want or what people told me I want or how people explained to me how I need to be and stuff. I kind of see that, you know, I can kind of do different things. Like, I'm kind of making a little bit of different decisions, you know, doing a lot of different stuff. Yeah, like I'm just kind of like enjoying that part of things, and yeah, just doing kind of chilling, kind of doing a lot of things that I enjoy to do, and not being too I guess stuck. But yeah, I'm trying a lot of different things. Like, I don't know, most of my social interacting is very, like, lately very temporary. Kind of the dating situationship I had going on in San Diego since maybe like summer 2021. That kind of fizzled near summer 2022, and, you know, we're kind of just chilling at this time. We're not really like taking steps, but we do have like an established kind of involvement, I guess you would say. So we're not like completely writing each other off. It's just kind of like, yeah, when it's convenient, and we kind of did dial things back a bit, but at the same time, it's like, like when it's convenient. Like right now, I think we're both like focused on like career related stuff and a lot of new phases in other areas. But I feel like we were both there for each other at the beginning of things before either of us started really making a lot of moves towards the next career path. And I think, I didn't know if they were going to move initially too, so that's why I just assumed like if they're going to work on this real quick, I was thinking by the beginning of last year they were going to already have work and not really be interested in like trying to be around me, because they're going to be in a field where they're going to be super busy. So yeah, but I mean that was also like a poly situation, and it was good. I mean, the communication it could have been better, but also, that can be partly on my end too. It's not just one way. Like I kind of see it multiple ways when communication isn't going really good. It's like sometimes one person just doesn't communicate well. Other times it's like if they don't feel comfortable communicating or about certain things, or if they just don't know that they should. And then also if I'm not saying anything, it's like, how are they really gonna guess, right? And so that kind of thing is something to look at for sure. Just trying to make sure people understand that. And yeah, like like I'm not that like I don't feel like I have concerns that are really like negative surrounding those type of dynamics, like it's just, when I was working a lot in that job I was in, and definitely summer was a rough time, so and I'm not used to having rough summers. Like summers don't tend to be rough for me. Summers tend to be like the season where I thrive. It's like, there's usually a lot of pride festivals, a lot of stuff going on in multiple states, and I kind of get out of town a little bit more often, usually between like May, June, all the way to like October maybe. I'm usually doing a lot, and then starting to train for snowboard season, and then usually by winter I'm snowboarding. So usually the lull for me is like that little period between like March, April till maybe like maybe March, April, May, June, or March, April, May. Like those months tend to be pretty weird for me. I usually tend to get depressed around April. I've never really fully understood that, but I think it's probably because there's like multiple weeks where I kind of don't have anything during that time of year that I'm really trying to do. Just jokingly, maybe it's tax season, but I don't really think that's really what it is. But yeah, I just wonder, and I mean, there's still some people that I'm kind of feeling out some people, but I just don't know what to make of it. There was somebody that I thought was pretty cool in San Diego, but I think they're kind of really interested in someone else who lives there. And there was another, I met like a couple people somebody in December I kind of struck out, and then another person that, in January, I mean, we haven't even been that many days into January, but someone I know, but have seen during January that, I think, I don't really think that's really going to work out. They're kind of working on a lot of stuff, in a lot of ways that, I don't know if I really want a distraction like that right now. But only time will tell. We shall see. I'm kind of a little excited to kind of see, what's gonna unfold with like dating related things. I just, I'm not really that focused right now. I think I shouldn't really be focusing on dating. I don't want anything holding me anywhere. I don't want anything holding me to one city or another. I'd be fine to stay in LA. I'm not against Orange County. I like inland Orange County more, even though the coast is beautiful. I prefer inland. But, I think in the order of preference would be San Diego, then LA, then Orange County if I could be kind of closer north and east, a little closer to like the mountains. And IE is fine too, but I feel like if I lived in the Inland Empire, I'd always want to be driving to like LA and San Diego, so I don't really think that would be really an option. But I do have a lot of friends out there, so I don't know, San Diego's more my vibe. Like, it's just kind of more where I have my life kind of established, and I was definitely worried about moving, that it would kind of make it so that I would definitely lose connections with a bunch of people. But surprisingly, everybody's pretty supportive and understanding. Yeah, like I don't really have a lot of like non-supportive people around me. Like, everybody's pretty supportive. Like I don't expect people to like know what I'm doing all the time too. Like I understand, like, it's, everyone's got their own lives and their own focus, and so, I don't mind people asking me like the same questions over and over. That's never like a problem. But yeah, I was kind of talking to one of my friends that I used to work with and saying, like, there is really a prestige that kind of comes with, service work and working in like, scientific fields and things. Like, I'm wondering how that's going to change going into a different type of environment. I've really gotten used to like the pretty strict boundaries, but then also like the people that you don't have like just only a professional relationship with, the people who you have like a closer connection with through like work, school, just whatever it may be. Like, on that professional level though, when you're in psych, usually it's like those relationships are pretty long lasting. I've even noticed that when I was in those relationships were pretty long lasting when I went to school in LA at a university. There's still people that I talk to from that university, from my cohort. A lot I've lost contact with, but I'm the kind of person who has like no shame about contacting people like 5 or 6 years later. Like, I don't really care. Like, if I want to talk to you, I'm going to talk to you, or at least try to get in touch. So that was definitely something where I was like, all right, try to get in touch. So for me, that's been something that's kind of worked for a while now. And, but yeah, like on the dating front, I'm not really trying to get too distracted. I don't know. I probably shouldn't even say it. There's a couple people I've kind of got an eye on that I don't know. It would be fun. It would just be some fun with them, but I'm really trying to get my social life kind of back on track. There's a lot of people I haven't had a lot of time and energy for, and I would like to prioritize, kind of seeing those folks, being able to kind of travel around a little bit locally, and just be able to see friends and stuff like that. So but I don't really think I need to be dating right now. I just think it's one of those things, like when you're a certain like age range, I think you just kind of think about it a lot. Like I'm perfectly fine not having like too much like of a solid commitment to like one individual person. I'm really like pretty chill with a lot of variety and even diversity within like options of different things and different forms of relationships. But I definitely have my solid crews, my solid folks, where I'm not trying to be like, I don't know, like I don't think there's anything wrong with that, with having the people you prioritize compared to just like the other people. Like, I feel like even when people don't, like, maybe might not feel like I'm prioritizing them, like they're definitely on my priority list. Like, I've definitely got a priority list. Some of the people I grew up with, some of them I met while I was in San Diego, like they're the people that I'm like, okay, maybe if they have a birthday or something like important coming up, I want to be there and like be involved with them with that thing, instead of being like, like I'll try to make the energy and time and save the money and make the effort to like be with them, versus like if I really can't make it, I don't like make it like into a huge thing, but it's like, I kind of try more, versus like if it's just Joe Blow, I'm just like I'm not gonna spend like $300 worth of hotel fees, $60 to $90 worth of like transportation between like a tank of gas and Uber rides, and then on top of like probably $75 in food just over a weekend for just anybody. Like if I'm doing all that, I want it to be with people that I'm close to, unless I can just dish it out, because there have definitely been times where I can just dish it out, but like financially I can just like burn through my wallet sometimes too, like if I have that ability. And sometimes I will spend money just to like party, like I don't really care, but yeah, I'm just trying to see how it all works out. I'm just doing a lot of stuff, but that's definitely like what I was talking about in the beginning. That's definitely kind of how I've kind of seen things with relationships, and when I go into trying to like look into dating or something like that, I do kind of consider that there's so many factors. I'm finding it more interesting now that my mind is a lot more clear, even in like a couple days worth, just from not having the same stressful demands from that job. It's like my head feels just like clear and open for like social stuff more, like not like way too much. I still do feel like I need to keep to myself and like focus and do my own thing, but I feel like before it was like, I don't want to spend any social energy on anybody. And now I'm kind of like getting it back even a lot quicker than I thought I would. I was really enjoying, I've been enjoying a lot of these kind of changes, so yeah, I kind of ate a little bit of a charcuterie board that my mom made, and had a little bit of coffee and a little bit of a protein shake this morning. It's about 2:30 p.m. I'm probably going to start getting into a late lunch here. I don't think people care what I'm eating, but it's going to be leftover Del Taco. I know, trust me. I know, you don't even have to say it. I know, shoot. But that's what I want to eat, dang it. I love their grilled chicken, so that's what I'm going to be eating. And yeah, otherwise, that's all I really have to say for right now, but I'm gonna upload these while I'm eating, and thanks for listening.